This episode has been brought to you by JustNForm.com. If you're tired of being censored, tired of having your data stolen and sold, go to JustNForm.com, a social media site where all voices are welcome.
So, some of you may have heard that Mad Dog Mattis is on his way out. And personally, I was celebrating good times because let's be honest. I mean, anytime a psychopathic, sociopathic, war criminal, I mean, this guy is sick in the head. He authorized the bombing, right, he authorized the bombing of a wedding. 71 civilians were killed. He didn't apologize. Didn't even show any remorse. You know it was bad. Listen, I'm not even joking. You know it was bad when Obama said that Mattis was too hawkish for him. This is the same Obama who allowed Libya to be invaded and allowed Gaddafi to be killed. This is the same Obama who bombed Syria even after Mattis left. This is the same Obama this is Obama who pretended to be friendly and on television and be friendly to people in person. You can hug your baby and then bomb your family. It was Obama. Mattis was too hawkish for that guy. Obama bombed 7 different countries, in addition to what Bush had already started. And he was too hawkish for Obama. So it's weird to me to hear people like Nancy Pelosi praise Mattis. Because let's be very clear about something. Mattis isn't an Obama product, believe it or not. Mattis is a Bush product. You get what I'm saying here? In other words, the only reason, this is the way Trump derangement syndrome, aka TDS, works. The only reason they are celebrating him is 1, because their donors are telling them to, but 2, is because they are so against the idea of Trump winning again that they are even going out of their way to praise madmen. Just look at this article from the New York Times. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, a.k.a. freaking Mad Dog Mattis. I don't understand what there is to debate about it. When the guy is named Mad Dog, keep his ass out the White House. Do not allow anybody who would allow himself to be called Mad Dog. Don't put him in charge of shit. Don't put him in charge of anything. Let me continue. Anyway, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, whose experienced instability were widely seen as a balance to an unpredictable president, resigned Thursday in protest of President Trump's decision to withdraw American forces from Syria and his rejection of international alliances. Now, I want to be clear about something, people. Trump has been, be honest with you, he has been the definition of unpredictable. I want to be clear. Because when you say he's going to pull troops out, now don't get it wrong. He's only pulling the troops that he put in Syria. However, the initial troops that Obama put in Syria are supposed to remain. So I want to be very clear about that. But even still, a reduction in troops is a good thing and should be celebrated. But that's weird that that's what makes him unpredictable. What's unpredictable is like he would still keep some troops there. He is still allowing the bombing to take place. But then he does something like, well, you know what? This is pointless. Let me pull the troops out. What's weird, what's unpredictable about him is that he would still, like, remember, we thought he was going to go to war with North Korea for a while. And then out of nowhere, he was like, actually, let's broker peace. Like, he is unpredictable in that fashion. But that level of unpredictability is scary only because of his irrational fits of violence, not because of his seemingly uncharacteristic devotion to peace out of nowhere at random points in his tenure as president. So that's what makes him unpredictable. However, Mattis has a problem with his unpredictability when it comes to maintaining peace. Why? What balance is Mad Dog Mattis supposedly bringing to the White House? Because since Mattis has gotten there, I don't know if you remember one of the first speeches that Mad Dog Mattis gave when he came to the White House. Last year, around the same time actually, he gave a speech addressing Syria. He said, turns out there was actually no proof of a chemical weapons attack. There was no proof of one after we launched the Sidewinder missiles. There was no proof of one before that. Turns out there wasn't even proof of any chemical attack when Obama was president either. However, we're going to find proof. You get what he's saying? In other words, he was going to make sure that no matter what happens, we are going to remain in in Syria. Same thing in Iraq too. And then he came at Obama, the same Mad Dog Mattis, same guy who came at Obama for saying Iran actually isn't that bad. Which once again, in my opinion, proves Obama never really had control of his office. And he was basically, he was a puppet akin to Ronald Reagan. As in, he had no idea what he was getting into when he signed on that dotted line. He thought it would be pretty smiles and his version of progressivism, but instead he realized he didn't have the chutzpah to take on the establishment. But Mattis is insane. He destroyed thousands of civilians in a town. And then afterwards joked about it and said, it's really peaceful here. Seriously. The New York Times is saying this guy brings balance. Nancy Pelosi was upset he's no longer working with Donald Trump. But that just goes to show you the Democratic Party is no different than the Republican Party. They both want war. They do. Because their donors want war. Because that's what keeps Americans busy. That's what keeps you enlisting. Hell, if you go to war, you get tax-free money, right? Support your family, stability, all that good stuff. They use us, the veterans, as pawns in their political games. These same veterans that are surviving. I'm not joking. A lot of veterans are surviving off of food stamps because you think your minimum wage is bad. Veterans, their wages aren't that much better. They're not. You know when you make a lot of money? When you deploy and you get shot at. That's when you make a lot of money as a veteran. And then people do a good job saving up their money, but still, you shouldn't have to get shot at in order to get free education. You shouldn't have to get shot at in order to provide stability to your family, to provide long-term security to your family. You shouldn't have to be shot at to get health care. But these Democrats and these Republicans pretend that they care about us, but allow people like Mad Dog Mattis to become Secretary of Defense. They allow people like him to be promoted to general, to allow Marines to kill civilians and go unanswered, saying he owes no apology to anyone. Mr. Mattis had repeatedly told friends and aides over recent months that he viewed his responsibility to protect the United States' 1.3 million active duty troops as worth the concessions necessary as defense secretary to a mercurial president. But on Thursday, in an extraordinary rebuke of the president, he decided that Mr. Trump's decision to withdraw roughly 2,000 troops, oh God, it shouldn't have been 2,000 troops there anyway. But he said to remove the 2,000 troops from Syria was a step too far. We're 2,000 troops closer to peace? Well, Mr. President, I bid you adieu. I won't have it. It's like you seen Black Panther with M'Baku. He said, you have this little girl in charge of all your technological advancements. We will not have it, no. You have this orange man in charge of peace in Syria by removing troops. We will not have it. This man is insane. The thing is, here's how you know he's crazy. Trump is still bombing Syria. He is still bombing Syria. We still have troops in Iraq. We still have hostile relations with Iran. But removing 2,000 troops was a step too far for Mad Dog Mattis. We really, really need to reevaluate the people we put in charge in Washington. And you who are screaming for Nancy Pelosi to run for president, to celebrate Nancy Pelosi because she's really good at complaining about Donald Trump, but really horrible at policies and clearly really bad at getting things done. I mean, come on, people. This is the guy that Nancy Pelosi wants to stay at Trump's side. It's pathetic. We can do better. Mad Dog Mattis shouldn't just be resigning. He should be in jail, along with the rest of the world criminals in Washington, D.C. Thanks for watching that segment of Mi Casa es Su Casa. You can donate to our Patreon and keep helping the network grow by clicking on the link in the description below. And also, make sure you join us at JustNForm.com. And finally, make sure you subscribe to us on Roku and be part of the very first independent news network on Roku TV. But more than anything else, always remember, find your balance. Peace.